Hello and welcome everyone to today's session. Today we are going to have a look at how Microsoft can support your nursery and your play stations going on in your nursery setting. So strap in, enjoy today's session. If you've got any questions, please type away, let us know. We're on all the social medias, we're Tablet Academy Scotland. Just let us know how you've got on, and yeah, let's jump in and let's get started. I'm excited to show you what we've got planned today. I'll see you there. Hello, so one of my favourite things to use is OneNote when we are working in the nursery. So you will see that on the left hand side I have all of my sections, but the one that I'm focusing on today is the story corner. So down at the bottom we have story corner, and then you will see that I have lots and lots of different stories in there. So these all have emojis so that the children can choose their favourite story. So if they're wanting to go for Goldilocks and the Three Bears, we've got the 4 emojis there. We've got the gingerbread man, we've got the 3 little pigs, the frog prince, and Hansel and Gretel as well. There's no limit to the amount of stories that you could have in here, which is fantastic. So just as an example, here we have Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Now, we appreciate and we know that there is no expectation on our students to be able to read yet, or to even be looking at these sounds. But we can get our computers, our laptops, Chromebooks, iPads, whatever we're using, to use some of the amazing features within Microsoft OneNote to support our learners whilst they're at their playstations. So you could be using the computers at either a table or maybe your reading corner, and you could have this set up there, maybe plug in a pair of headphones or have it out loud, get your students to read the story or have a look at the pictures at the same time, and all you're going to do is you're going to click on the story you want to listen to and head to the immersive reader up at the top. Now once in the immersive reader, the computer is going to do all of the work for you. It's going to read out the story to you, and it is all, you can adjust all of the kind of the speeds and also the voice that is used. So I'm just going to hit play for you now.
Once upon a time, there were 3 bears: Mummy Bear, Daddy Bear, and Baby Bear. One day, the bears went off on an adventure into the woods. Goldilocks came running by and saw the house that belonged to the bears. Goldilocks crept in. The house was empty. Goldilocks saw 3 bowls of porridge on the kitchen table.
If we need to pause for any reason, we can pause there and we can start to ask questions. We can let the students ask us their questions, but we can also start to have a look at other settings to support our learners. So we could change the background if we wanted to by just clicking on these A's up at the top and selecting. I've got it on the yellow theme just now. That's a really light kind of sepia one, but you can change the overlay that's there for your students, whether they are using it just aesthetically to look nice, they can change it, or you can get them to kind of support looking at the screen. You don't want to have a white background for a long time, it strains the eyes a lot. Choose a theme that suits your learners, and you might want to get their input and see what works for them. So I quite like using the sepia tone there, because this is what it looks like white, and it's quite stark and sore in your eyes, so the sepia one's really good for that. We can also change the font, so I've gone with Comic Sans just because of that little that they will be learning down in the future. Doesn't make too much of a difference though, kind of what you choose in there. We can also adjust the text size if we need to. And lastly, I'm going to show you, we also have the picture dictionary as well. So if we click on different words, then I've got it set to Polish as well, and then where are we? Bowls. There we go. Then it will show us an image of a bowl there to help just with their understanding. So I wonder if we can have table. There's pictures of tables. Kitchen. We've got pictures of kitchens as well. Okay. So what you could do is say, oh, I see the word here, but I wonder what a bowl is or looks like. I wonder what you would use a bowl for, and then you can click on that bowl to support your learners there as well. If you've got any learners who have English as an additional language, you can also change the language of the document to their home tongue. So for example, if I had a student who spoke Polish as their first language, I can change the whole document to be in Polish. So now If I scroll back up to the top.
Dawno, dawno temu były 3 niedźwiedzie. Mami Bir, Daddy Bir i Baby Bir. Pewnego dnia niedźwiedzie wyruszyły na przygodę do lasu. Złotowłose podbiegły i zobaczyły dom należący do niedźwiedzi. Wkradły się złotowłose. Dom był pusty. Złotowłosa zobaczyła 3 miski owsianki na kuchennym stole.
Okay, so now we can support our learners across the board and allow them to engage with the story and to engage with the work that we are and activities that we are putting out on our tables and our stations as well. So I'll see you in 2 seconds at our next learning activity. Okay, so now we're going to have a really quick look at how you can incorporate some games into your play stations. Okay, so you'll see here that I've opened up Microsoft OneNote and I'm using this as my place for sharing all of the information with my pupils. So down in the bottom left hand corner you'll see that I have a section called Games. Okay, and within that section I've got a dog game and I've got a chicken game as well. Okay, so I know that there's no expectation on your pupils to be learning about all the numbers and sounds, and this will come down the line, but we can incorporate them into our games and we can use the games to develop other skills as well whilst they are in those formative years and developing the knowledge around these numbers and sounds. So what I've got here is a link to a game that I've created on Scratch. Okay, so I've put in an image, just a screenshot of the game, excuse me, and then I have a link to the game. So I would expect that my nursery pupils would be able to use their finger on the touch screen to click on the words that I'm pointing to here with the emojis that says dog numbers. Okay, so when they click on that, it's going to open up the game for them. So now they just click on the green flag and they can now control the game using their keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to use the arrow keys, so I'm going to press up to jump, and when I jump and touch a number, the game will actually read that number out to me. So we're not focusing on the skills of recognizing the numbers, we're focusing on our keyboard skills here. So
0, 1, 2, 3,
okay,
6, 7.
so we're working on going right and up, and we're developing that fine motor skill in there, okay?
8, 9, 10.
And when they go to the diamond, they go to the next level.
0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay? And then each level gets harder and harder.
0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10.
Okay? You can see we've got a score up in the top right corner.
0, 1, 2, 3.
So now they've got to go backwards as well, so they need to use the left arrow key.
6, 4, 5.
So I missed the 6 there, I should have missed it.
7, 8, 9,
And
10.
okay, and I think this is the last level.
0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, that's not the last level.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So it gets harder for them.
6, 7, 8, 9.
And they've got to go backwards again. And there we go. To start again, you press the green flag. Okay, so how did I create this? How did I make a game using Scratch? Well, if I make the game not full screen, I bring that back. Well, a wee tip for you there. If it's in full screen and you press FN and F11, it will actually make the game full screen for your students, so there's less chance of them clicking on things they shouldn't be. Okay, so you can make the game full screen. But yes, so here is my game. How did I make this game? Well, this took about a night or so, and if you would like a copy of this game, let me know. I'll share the link with you. So all I've done here is a really simple game there. So when the green flag is clicked, switch costume to level 1, so that's just the background, and forever if level 7 is reached, switch costume to finished game. So that just means switch the level to finished. When I receive new level, so that's in here, if level equals 2, switch costume to level 2. If it equals 3, go to level 3. I've also got here all of my, these are all characters essentially. So the 0, the 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10, these are all characters. And when the dog touches the character, then the character disappears and the character has a sound that's been previously recorded as well. So you'll hear there, I've got play sound recording 2, okay? And for each level, I've put in the place that I want it to be. And you can just click and drag the character to where you want it to go to. So there, that is how you create a really simple and easy game. Like I say, if you want a copy of this, then please feel free to message me and let me know, and I'll happily share one out with you. If you're wanting to just pause and copy this, then absolutely go ahead and do that as well. We've also got the chicken version as well, so we can use the chicken one for the sat pin sounds. Now what we've done, when it drops, is going to make a sound. Okay, so what I've done is I've just used the exact same backgrounds and the exact same levels, I've just changed the costumes. Okay, so what you can do is change the sounds to maybe the book of the week that you're using. So you could have, instead of the s sound, you could have you could have Daddy Bear for Goldilocks and Three Bears. The A could be Mummy Bear, the T could be Baby Bear, maybe the P could be a bowl of porridge, I could then be the chair, and N could be the bed, okay? And when the Goldilocks touches the bears or the porridge, the bed, the chairs, then what's going to happen is you could read out what that word is and just support your learners to recreate the story in a game version. Okay, so that is how we can use Microsoft tools to support our learners in nursery at their playstations. You would set up however many devices you have available to you and get them onto the OneNote, which is here, and then let them choose the game that they want to play, and then when they click on that link, they can then play that game to support their learning and to support their fine motor and keyboard skills. Thank you. Hello, so the next thing that I want to show you today is how you can use Microsoft PowerPoint to create some amazing story maps and have your children record their thoughts and feelings about a story and even get them to retell and recount what happens in the story. So here I have a really basic story map that I have created. All I've done is I've gone to insert pictures, online pictures from Bing, because these are copyright free. You can do whatever you need to with these. Sometimes the image, as you see, has the information on who the author of the image was. Great. Then all I've done is added some arrows for the students to follow so that they can tell us what happens on that story map. Okay, so now I am going to pretend to be one of your students and I'm going to record what happens in this story. Excuse me. So go to audio on the top right hand corner under insert, and I'm going to record the audio. So I'm going to pretend to be one of your students. Record a sound. I'm going to name it the name of the student, so Niall, and today's date as well, which I've not got the date, so let's just guess a date. Was it the 12th maybe of November? Okay, 2021. I'm then going to hit the record button. This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time there were three bears. There's the three bears and a girl called Goldilocks, and the three bears went on a holiday for the day. So they went on an adventure. So Goldilocks was walking past the house and entered the house. Then Goldilocks saw 3 bowls of porridge. She tried the first bowl of porridge, but it was too hot. She tried the second bowl of porridge, but it was just too cold. And she tried the third bowl of porridge, and it was just right. Then, because she felt so full, she went and sat down in a chair. She sat in the first chair, the green chair that's there, and it was too hard. It looked like Daddy Bear's chair. Then she sat in the pink chair. It was too soft. And then she sat in the blue chair, and it was Baby Bear's chair, and it felt just right. But she was rocking on it and rocking forwards and backwards, and she broke the chair. So then she went and lay down in the beds. Daddy Bear's bed was too hard. Mummy Bear's bed was too soft. But Baby Bear's bed was just right. Then the 3 bears returned, and Goldilocks ran away. Once your students have finished their recording, you just hit the stop recording button. You can listen back by pressing the play button or hit OK. And now you'll see in the middle, the recording has appeared. So there is my recording for us to listen back. Now we have evidence of learning and evidence that the child is maybe able to recount and retell stories, that they are able to use the pictures, and you can also check for vocabulary as well. If we want to listen back, we just hit the play button.
This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time there...
You've heard that, so you don't need to hear it again. Okay, so one last thing that you could do is also insert and some text. So we're going to go to, just going to insert, and we're going to insert some text box. There we go. I lost it there for a minute. And we can put the child's name as well, just so that we understand whose recording that was. So I'll put my name in there again. Now you can see I've duplicated these so that ready for the next child to go and retell. All I do to duplicate is right click and hit duplicate slide, and now I've got enough for my whole group, my whole class essentially in the nursery or P1. So there we go, that's how we use Microsoft PowerPoint to support with our story maps and to support with our recounting and retelling and evidence. Thank you. So this brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that I've had an amazing time and I hope that you have learned lots too. You'll find Tablet Academy Scotland across all of the social medias, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're absolutely everywhere. Let us know how you got on today. We would love to hear any feedback, and we would also love to hear and see how you have used the Microsoft products in your nursery. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye!